Have you ever been playing Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 and wondered to yourself, how can I start this plane manually like they do in the real world? Well, today guys, on Flying with Josh, I'm going to show you how to do just that. So let's get going. So first things first, let's choose which airport we want to fly out of. I'm going to choose Wilkes County, North Wilkesboro in North Carolina. This is the actual airport that I fly out of regularly. Okay, so choose your airport. Now I'm going to zoom back out. Normally when you pick your airport, you see this here. So if you use your mouse wheel, scroll in, and instead of starting on the runway, let's start on the ramp. Okay, and let's set that as the departure. Flight conditions, guys, I went with clear skies. I've set my time to 8:35 in the morning for simplicity's sake. We'll go ahead and click fly. Okay guys, so it's loading up here for us. Go ahead and click ready to fly. So you can see it's going to start us on the ramp. And we're just going to ignore these pushback instructions. We're going to click on the toggle yoke visibility. Get all that out of the way. So we're going to go ahead and set our mixture to rich just to have that ready so it doesn't get us. And also down here in the floor, this will get you sometimes. We're going to shut that over to the left. That's your fuel shutoff valve. Okay, over here you have your engine primer, carb heat, throttle, mixture. So let's go ahead and turn on our master switch and alternator. Let's prime the engine here. Also in the real world, in the plane that I fly, we actually prime it around 2 to 4 times depending on how cold it is outside. So third, I'm going to pull it back and then go in 1/4 of an inch. And then I'm going to open my window if it's not already opened in the real world anyways. And let's go ahead and say clear prop. Okay guys, and that is how you start a Cessna 150, and it's very similar to a Cessna 172 as well. So let's go ahead and we'll hit the control period, and let's go ahead and taxi out. Wilkes County traffic, November 13450 is ready to taxi. I'm going to go against the computer instructions here. Normally I have all these assisting things turned off. You just want to go at a walking pace. This is where you'll run your what they call the run up. Since this is a simulator, we're not going to go ahead and do that, but basically you just get your RPMs up to 1700 RPMs and check your magnetos. You go to the left and right and make sure that you get a 100 RPM drop. So we're going to say that we've already done that, everything's checked out good. And we're going to say Wilkes County traffic, November 13450, departing runway 19. We're going to swing to the right, look for traffic, swing it to the left, look for traffic. Everything's good to go. You don't have to radio into this airport. You don't have to communicate, which is scary, but it's always best practice to say your intentions. Flaps are identified, which meaning they are up. And guys, we'll keep it on the center line here with the feet. And let's go ahead and go full power. Try to keep it, look towards the end of the runway. If you're having a hard time keeping your foot controls, go ahead and pull back on the yoke, about 60 knots, and keep it center line over the runway as best you can. And climb, climb, climb. The one thing that is kind of I'm not crazy about the simulator. I kind of wish they would automatically light up the instrument panel here to where we can see it, because in the real world you would be able to see it much better than this. You can see it's a little dark. You have to look down, and then when you look up, see nice beautiful farmland out here in this area. So once we get to approximately 1,800 feet, we are going to go ahead and start turning into our pattern here. So Wilkes County is 1,300 feet above ground level. I'm sorry, mean sea level, and we are 1,000. We want to get to 1,000 feet. So at 1,800 feet is when you start turning your crosswind and getting on your downwind. And you don't want to lollygag around here. You want to keep climbing. Kind of see where you are in reference to the airport. And you want to level off at about 1,000 feet above ground level, which will be around 2,300 feet, according to the altimeter here. So we're getting pretty close. I'm going to go ahead and start dropping my nose a little bit so that I'm not climbing. You really got to watch that, because it will get you. You start climbing above it here. So we're getting downwind. So we're going to go ahead and radio in. Wilkes County traffic, November 13450 is downwind for runway 19. So we're going to stay at around 2,300 feet again. And once we get to these hash marks, that's where we're going to start our pattern work here. Or start to get on our landing configuration. So we're about at where we need to be at the hash marks. We'll go ahead and pull our carb heat and slow down to 1,500 RPMs. Your RPMs are over here. Pull the nose back to start slowing down. Try to keep it at 1,500. Now you want to keep an eye on the airspeed. Once you get in this wide arc, which we are, going to hit F7, lower notch of flaps. And you want to keep the airspeed around 70 knots. 70, 75 knots, 80 miles per hour in a normal plane. In a normal, one that indicates miles per hour. So if you're losing speed, drop the nose a little bit. You can add a little power. Use the mouse wheel to scroll back here a little bit. Got to see where we are. Okay, so we are on base. So you can also radio. It's a good practice radio. So Wilkes County, November 13450 is on base, turning final. Go ahead and hit F7 for another notch of flaps. Start slowing down even more. Keep an eye on your airspeed. So I'm losing some airspeed here. So I need to speed up a little bit, drop the nose, add a little bit of power, and we'll see where the runway ends up once we come around. So it's going to be under the nose. I'm going to go ahead and drop my power back just a little bit. I think we've got it made, so I'm going to go ahead and kill my power. And once you 100% know you've got it made, go ahead and dump your flaps all the way. Push F8 to dump them all the way down, or F7 again. And again, keep it around 70 knots. Pick a spot, one that's not moving, your aiming point. So the second dash is the one I'm looking at. And I'm going to start rounding out right about now. Look to the end of the runway, and float, and then pull back really easy. Use your feet, stall, and we are on the ground, guys. All right, guys. Well, that's pretty much it. And thank you. Please click the like button and subscribe.